welcome to my channel. My name is Cynthia and you're watching Mountain Accent Sewing. Thank you for joining me today for this collaboration video that I'm going to share. Emma at MK Sews and I decided to do a collaboration video making the same dress, the Cashmerette Holyoke Dress. If you're interested in hearing about my trials and errors, stay tuned. What is the Cashmerette Holyoke Dress? This is the pattern. And this dress pattern also includes a skirt pattern, but she and I both made the dress. Okay, so the dress is a sleeveless dress with a wide strap, has princess seams, has a button placket, and that could be a faux button placket or a real button placket. And it comes in sizes 12 to 32 with 3 different cup size options, C to H. Now for this dress, it does require a lot of fabric. If you're using 60-inch wide fabric, you're looking at anywhere from 3.5 to 4.5 yards of fabric. I had 4 meters of this fabric here behind me. It's a viscose, and that is what I used to make my dress. Now the body measurements for this dress, so we said it goes from 12 to 32, and you'll need your high bust measurement, which is a range of 37 up to 57. And then for the full bust, you got your CD cup 40 to 60 inches, EF 41 to 61 inches, and a GH from 42 all the way up to 62 inches. Now, if you go into Cashmerette website, you can plug in your measurements, but we also need the waist and hip. So the waist goes from all the way from a 32 to 52 inch waist and a hip of 42 to 62 inch hip. So it does have a very size inclusive size range. Now I did go into their website and plugged in my measurements, and then it gave me the recommended pattern size that I should make for this pattern. It recommended a 12 GH grading to an 18 at the waist, and then going back down to I think it was either 14 or 16 hip. So Emma and I, we have been chatting on Instagram, and then we also did a live Zoom, which was a lot of fun, and we discussed the fabrics we wanted to use. We discussed buttons, what sizes we thought we would need, and about tracing the pattern. And let me tell you, it's a lot of pattern pieces to trace. But hey, it gave me the measurements that I needed, and so that's what I did. I did a toile, which is something that I usually don't do, and I made a toile of just the bust and the waist waist pieces. It's a very rough toile in just a little pink cotton fabric, and it does have these princess seams here. Also has the princess seams in the back, and these nice wide straps. And I'll include a picture, and you'll see that in the picture that it seemed too wide across my chest area here, and it gaped. And so I was talking with Emma on Instagram, and we felt like I needed to go down a size. And I think I told you wrong. It told me to use a 14 GH for based on my measurements, grading to an 18. But because of that gaping here, I decided I need to go down to a 12 GH and do a full bust adjustment. And full bust adjustment is tricky. I've done a few on regular garments, but this was a first for me on a dress with a princess seam. Now, they do have excellent instructions on their website for doing a full bust adjustment. But I also own Jenny Rushmore's book, Ahead of the Curve. Emma and I both referred to this book, I believe, and on page 38, it gives you how to do a full bust adjustment on a regular top, but then on page 39, it shows you how to do a full bust adjustment on a princess seam. There's a lot more steps involved in doing it on a bodice with a princess seam. It is very time consuming, and I had to do a lot of retracing. And then on some of the pieces that I traced, I was able to make the adjustments on the pieces themselves and just trim them. And so I made a toile of this, the next size, which was the 12 GH with a 1-inch full bust adjustment. And I sewed this up while Emma and I were doing our Zoom, and so I did make a little mistake, but hey, it was just my toile. It was a good thing it was just a toile, but you'll see that my one of my princess seams I did inside out, or basically I made two that were exactly the same, and when I sewed it together I had to flip-flop it to try it on, but it did fit. So I went with the 12 GH with a 1-inch full bust adjustment, and I also attached the waist piece. Well, there's been a lot going on, and so it was a few days before I would have time to sew on it some more, and I opted to take a day off of work just to dedicate to sewing on this dress, and I needed that whole day. I mean, I probably spent 11 or 12 hours finishing the dress. And I really like the way the dress fits, the way it looks. It's a beautiful fabric, and I feel like it does sit just a little bit high here, and I wondered if I make it again, if I should go back and lengthen those straps just by, I think between a 12 and a 14, it's probably about a centimeter longer total. So if I just lengthen it just a little bit, I think that it would make that sit just a little bit better here at the front. I'm not sure how well it shows up in my pictures because I have my hair down and it's covering the straps a little bit. But those straps fit nicely over my bra strap, so there's no, no bra peeking out. And it fits very nicely over the bust line, and it goes into the waist at my smallest part, which is mine is at my higher waist is where my slimmest part is, and then it just kind of skims down. Now instead of grading to an 18 as they recommended, because of having to do the full bust adjustment, it's not a perfect size 18, so I wasn't quite sure how to cut my skirt pieces. And I didn't want to trace them, so I did cut them out at the largest size, and then I folded along the line where I wanted to cut. But I made a rookie error, and you can't see it because the pattern is so busy on this dress. But the princess seam comes down just slightly to the left of the apex, and it comes down, well, on the outer side of each apex, comes down, and then there's the waistline, and then that seam for the paneled skirt should match up with that same line going down, and mine are off just a little bit in the front and in the back because I didn't know how to make the adjustment on the skirt piece. I wasn't sure how to make the adjustments on the skirt pieces to match up with the bodice. And granted, the instructions for doing that may be in the book, but did I look? I did not. And so it was after I already cut out my fabric and there was no going back that I realized that I maybe should have checked. And so, yeah, I didn't. Let me get the dress down. Okay, this viscose, I've had it in my stash for probably 3 years, however long Beyond the Pink Door has been in business. I bought it from Andrea, I think the first year that she was in business, and it's a beautiful lightweight viscose. And I use these beautiful red buttons, and I got those from Pattern Pouch Nest. That's Anna. When you buy a pattern pouch, you get a pattern with lots of notions and other goodies in it, and you don't know, it's just random bits that you could use. And she had put in the pouch when I ordered the Evelyn blouse from her, a lot of goodies, and there was a lot of these red buttons, and I've been wanting to use them for a long time, and I think they look great on this this dress. And it has a nice facing piece on the front and the back, or in the front and the back. And that is another thing that thank you, Emma, for mentioning it to me, that you have to adjust your facing pieces since you're doing the full bust adjustment on the princess seams bodice pieces. And so what I did is, instead of tracing the pattern or cutting the pattern out, I actually traced it around my fabric. I laid my fabric out on parchment paper, just drew a line, and then the pattern piece was 3 inch in depth, and so I made sure that it matched up 3 inches, and I cut it out just from drawing from the front piece and the back before I attached the straps, and they fit just right. So the back piece is very simple construction on the back, because you've got your princess seam and your outer pieces. And so I did the 12 on that, and then your back waistband has elastic. I'm not sure how well that's showing up, but on the elastic it should be 3/4 inch elastic, and I did not own any in my stash, and I didn't want to go buy any, so I used 1 inch elastic, and it just fit in the channel. And then they have you zigzag a stitch, 2 rows of stitching to hold that in place. And then the button placket here, and as well as your facing pieces, have lightweight interfacing. And I'm not sure if I can hold it up here, but on the skirt is, like I said, paneled, and you're stitching your button placket together. Now it did not call for it to be stitched on this outer piece, just over here on the side, and then you only go down so far, and then you got a split at the front to give you room for walking. And this dress is a lot longer than I thought it would be also, and they suggest you try it on before you hem it. And I really like the long length, because I've been wanting a maxi dress. And so I shortened the hem by, I think, a 1/2 inch. So they tell you to fold it up 1 inch and then 1 1/4 inches. And I only folded up 3/4 of an inch. Well, actually, I'll probably more like 6/8 of an inch. And then yeah, 3/4 of an inch. And then I folded it another inch, so it kept the length. Now Emma is going into spring. I'm getting ready to go into winter, and she was like asking me, was I sure I wanted to make, a sleeveless dress because of being in a different season. But I told her, sure, sure, I'm fine with that because this dress, I can layer it with either a cardigan or a jacket, wear it with sandals or boots. And then in the spring and or summer, I can wear it without a cardigan or a jacket and just wear it as is with strappy sandals, and it's going to work for several seasons. And yeah, you'll see from the photos that I've included that I think it looks great with the sandals, and it looks great with the blue jean jacket and the high boots that I have on. And I think I also have a little short cropped white cardigan that I want to try with it. That might work, like maybe say in the spring. But let me know in the comments below what you think of my dress. And let me know if you've ever made this dress pattern before and how you found it. I'm not ready to tackle another cashmerette pattern just because of all the fit adjustments I've had to make. Now, if I do try another one, it's going to have to be one that is much simpler and more straightforward, because I think if I could have made a straight, the straight 14GH with just the grading, I probably could have gotten my seams to line up, and but because of needing to make all those adjustments, it required lots and lots of hours of dedication. And yeah, a little bit of frustration, because of sometimes when I feel a little like overwhelmed by a project, it makes me procrastinate even more. I don't know if you find that for yourselves, but I did caught myself wanting to procrastinate with this one, and I had to just tell myself I got to get it done, got to get it done. And then that final day of sewing on it, I took the day off work and I said, I am not going to stop except for go to the bathroom, eat lunch, but I am going to work on this dress until I get it done. And I wouldn't let myself quit. And I'm so happy with the result. It's a beautiful dress. I'm very happy with it. And I'm very excited about the challenge. And that's the great thing about doing a collaboration with somebody else, is that you might try a pattern that you wouldn't necessarily have picked out for yourself. And I hope that you will go on over to Emma's channel if you're never been there. Check out her video and see the dress that she made. And if you've come to me from her channel, thank you for watching, and I hope you'll stick around and subscribe, click like, and I hope to see you again in a future video. Thanks so much again for watching, and have a great day.